Happy Friday, everybody. Today is February 20th, 2026. First night after the All-Star break. Let's talk about the games. The first game is the Houston Rockets barely beat the Charlotte Hornets 105-101. The Charlotte Hornets really, I think defensively they really stepped up. It's been because back then every Charlotte Hornets game the score would be like, the over and under would be like 230. This game only 105-101, and LaMelo was in a car accident. Didn't bother him too much. He played 31 minutes, so that's good. You never want to see star players to get into any type of accidents. KD, great game, 35 points, 1 steal and 3 blocks, amazing. If you've seen what KD said about his teammates, if those things were true, yeah, that's not gonna help with teammate chemistry. Especially the things he said about Jabari Smith, who played 31 minutes. He had an okay game, but still in a block. Şengün, he also said a bunch of things about Şengün. Şengün only had 2 rebounds here, 7 assists, 3 steals and block. He's just really up and down the efficiency. I don't think Şengün is somebody that we really want to, at least for next year. He has a lot of hype. Of course, in category leagues, he could do everything, kind of like Scotty Barnes. But the efficiency is just not there, and he's not really getting all that defense. He's not really getting a lot of defensive stats either. Taro Eason played well. I'm sorry, he did not play well. He played a lot of minutes, 3 steals and nothing else, but he's a must roster. And Amen Thompson had 4 steals and a block. Was in a bit foul trouble. And Reed Shepherd, they're just using him. It depends on the game, but this is still a great line in 24 minutes. 13 points, still and 2 blocks. If you like threes and some scoring and then some potential upside, he's also a fairly efficient, doesn't really turn the ball over. You could have him, but the playoff is around the corner. So at this point, we don't really need potential. We need guys who are producing now. For the Hornets, Kanipo, 3 threes, 15 points, all right game. Grant Williams started. Because they have Diabate got suspended, a couple other guys got suspended. I think Kobe White is now on this team. So yeah, Ryan Kalkbrenner, let's stream him. Grant Williams, if he starts, get 30 minutes, we can stream him for some rebounding and some threes. Brandon Miller, not the best game, 17 points, and LaMelo, just happy to see him play. Coming into the season, the concern is he going to play? The good thing about Charlotte Hornets is because they've been playing so well, they're right now the 10th seed. So they're going to play their guys all the way till the end. The next one is, this one wasn't really close. Cavs beat the Brooklyn Nets 112-84. They are winning. They have a lot of momentum right now. They won 6 straight. And hey, the East is pretty open. I can definitely see the Cavs coming out of the East. And Celtics also have Jason Tatum back. Right? There's not a clear team that's, that better above everybody else. Detroit has a really good record, but in the playoffs, how much are we really trusting them? Nolan, he's been getting 30 minutes. He's been starting. Let's roster him. And, if you worry about efficiency, you don't roster him. But, yeah, he's giving you decent numbers when it comes to, points, assists. 5 assists is okay, right, if you're looking for those stats. And he has good minutes and usage. Igor, 26 minutes, not the best fan, to be honest. Even he played 30 minutes, he doesn't really do that much. De'Ron Sharp, now he's somebody that we could stream. He did not have the best game here because of the blowouts and stuff, and the Cavaliers interior got too big, pretty tough to deal with. But yeah, if Claxton is out, he's a must roster. Noah Clowney played 19. Yeah, all the guys have low minutes. Michael Porter Jr. Also rough game. Danny Wolf, they like to play him minutes. He's the only guy who had a good game, but it's just hard to. If there's a back-to-back, I think we could stream him. For the Cavs, easy work for Harden, 16 points, 6 for 8 from the field, 9 assists and 3 steals. Amazing. Donovan Mitchell, 17 points. Yeah. Mobley, Allen played just 20 minutes, around 20 minutes. Nobody really had that good game. Good game because, right, the minutes is so. It was such a blowout. And Jalen Tyson, with Harden coming in, he's no longer starting and getting those minutes. So I don't think he's a must roster. We could definitely stream if there's a back-to-back. And at this time of the year, depending on your league formats, if the playoff starts, look, if the guy is not producing, you drop him unless the guy is like a top 20 player, it's just automatic drop. Or if a guy is out for um, yeah, like if the guy is out for like 2 weeks, you drop. Even top 50 players. If of course if you have an IR and you don't have any guy injured, you can keep them. But you got to be a little bit more ruthless in the playoffs, especially if the matchup is very close. You just got to cut everybody. For the Hawks, um, while they beat the Sixers on the road, that's impressive. Jalen Johnson's show now. 14 for 16 from the free throw line is very impressive. 10 rebound, 5 assists with 3 steals and block. Really like what he's been doing all season. And if he's hitting free throws like this, then his game is pretty complete. I guess if we really want to nitpick, like give us more blocks. Okongwu was in a bit foul trouble, but now with Porzingis gone, I think he's pretty comfortably like top 40, 50 player rest of the way. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, same thing. Like he should be a top 50, 60 player rest of the way. He hit a lot of threes and he gives you defensive stats. CJ, they're still playing him, giving him huge minutes. Of course, we could have him 22 points and 3 threes is pretty good. And an impressive win. Dyson Daniels, he's just not getting those steals. Interesting to see. Dyson in the last month, 129th ranked player. This is why, guys, we don't want to draft guys that who had a great year last year, averaging 3 steals, because if that's the only thing he's bringing, good thing he's still getting a lot of minutes. For a lot of big guys, they could have a great year, averaging 3.5 blocks, and next year they just don't even play him minutes, and you draft him in the 3rd or 4th round, and you just cooked. Sixers, they don't have Embiid here, so Drummond played 20 minutes, always a great stream without Embiid. Maxey, not the best game, but still had 28 points and 4 threes, 8 for 8 from the line. And VJ Edgecombe had a great one offensively, but had 6 turnovers and 5 fouls. Of course, we can have Kelly Oubre Jr. for some scoring. Quentin Grimes played 29 minutes off the bench. I think he's also somebody that we could be streaming, especially with the Embiid out. They're going to have to find some minutes for him. The next game is, the two teams both trying to tank. And the Pacers got this one. They lost, which is what they want. Where's Siakam? Wow, first game back, no Siakam. If you have Siakam, maybe the tanking really start for them, and you can see the minutes. Julius Walker played 29 minutes. He had a big one, 14. I like him, but again, is he a must roster? Let's go pick him up, see how things go. But next game, he could just very well go back to, not doing much, and you just don't know what kind of minutes this distribution Carlisle is gonna come out every game. Andrew Nembhard only got 21 minutes here. They played Kobe Brown. I think this is a tanking season for the Pacers. Jay Huff played 20 minutes. Jay Huff, we still want to roster him because 20 minutes, he goes 8 rebounds and 3 blocks, 15 points. So, yeah. Do not be afraid to drop Andrew Nembhard if this continues when playoff comes around. I would also say, Siakam I think is too good to drop, but if the Pacers, I'm just giving an extreme example, if the Pacers in one particular week for your matchup only have two games, and you really need that, it's it's going to be close, Siakam could be dropped because they're not playing him huge every game and huge minutes. So just something to think about for the two tanking teams. For the Wizards, of course, it's honestly the same thing. Sarr, their best fantasy player, where has he been? No idea. And everybody just playing their starter 25 minutes. So Bob Carrington, yes, we could have him, especially if there's a back-to-back. Keyshawn George, I'll also be ready to drop if he's out for a couple games. This game really shows they only play him 20 minutes. So, and it's not like the game is a crazy blowout. Which is why I don't feel so great about Trey. I mean, AD is out for season confirmed. So yeah, if you have Trey in your IR and you really need to that spot, be ready to drop him as well. The next one is the Detroit Pistons. Well, this is kind of embarrassing. They beat the Knicks without a bunch of their guys because they got into a fight. Paul Reed is a must roster in the next week or so. I don't know how many games. Maybe for 2 more games. 18 points is great. 7 rebounds. Cade Cunningham just went off. 42 points, 13 assists, and 8 rebounds, 5 threes. Cade Cunningham has been very, very quiet. And this game obviously helps him. For a first round player, he's just never. He's a 14th ranked player in the last month, which by the way is very, very good. But for him, it's hard for him to be that top 5 player unless he really improves his efficiency and start getting us a lot of defensive stats. The counting numbers look really good though. Duncan Robinson hit 3 threes, could be a 3-point streamer, and Oscar Thompson chipped in 3 steals and 4 assists, which is very good. And Tobias Harris, you don't see it from him very often, but 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block. For the Knicks, maybe they try a little bit harder. They could have got Giannis, but yeah, pretty embarrassing loss. But Detroit is a really good team. 33 from Jalen Brunson, 8 assists is great. 3 threes, he played really well, but not enough. Cat this year offensively, he's just not. His scoring average really dipped. Everything else is okay. 11 rebounds, and he's still not shooting the ball that well. Landry Shamet had 3 threes, not much else, and OG 1 for 8 from 3, 8 points. Very, very quiet game. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. He has fallen off, completely fallen off. So if you sold high on him, congratulations. Moving on to the next one, the Toronto Raptors, they beat Chicago Bulls 110-101. Yeah, the Raptors also, they just keep winning games. They're the 5th seed in the East. Brandon Ingram took 20. I always felt like he takes way too many shots. 3 threes, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, which is good. Look, like those mid-range shots, the opposing team is more than happy to give you. So, yeah, the numbers look really pretty, but yeah, good for him fantasy-wise. Scotty, just very balanced, 5 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 steals and block. Great, happy with that. RJ, he's not a must roster. If you need points, you could stream him. That's it. That's really the only value he offers. Maybe some rebounds. Emmanuel quickly, 14 points, 3 assists is okay, but he had a little stretch where he popped off at like 40 points. But when everybody's healthy, he just doesn't get a lot of usage. So not a guy that we want to draft in the top 40, 50, if the situation stays the same with this Raptors team. For Chicago, right, they have a lot of, Vucevic is now out. So I like Jalen Smith. He can hit threes, grab rebounds, block shots. If they give him 30 minutes, which they did not, right, he should be a top 50 player. Josh Giddey played just 21 minutes. I'm not sure why. I guess it's because the blowout or he was horrible. Fernie Simon started. I think maybe the getting traded here help Fernie just a little bit, because on the Celtics he really doesn't get a lot of playing time. So that helps him, but he's just not the greatest fantasy player. He's gonna give you points and threes, not a lot of not much else. Trey Jones kind of came back. We could always stream him for some assist. Moving on to the next one. Well, this one is a blowout, 121-94. The Spurs are looking scary. I'm not gonna lie. They are catching up to OKC. And Shea's gonna be out for like another week or two, and yeah, like if they're the number 1, number 2 seed in, like the Spurs can come out of the West. They are not afraid of Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, like if everything stays as it is, Spurs gonna play like Warriors or Phoenix. They will be the favorite in the second round, right? I feel good about them if they don't play Denver. Yeah, if they play some Lakers, they play some Rockets, I think they should be the favorite as well. And then versus OKC, they beat them so many times. So yeah, this is only year 2 for Wemby. That would be crazy. Like they made the NBA Finals year 2 for Wemby, and what if they win it all? Then his GOAT career trajectory is gonna be crazy because he's the best player on this team. So, well, we will see. Phoenix, Devin Booker got hurt again. It's been just a very disappointing season for Devin Booker. next year maybe he's getting drafted, maybe a little bit undervalued, getting drafted in the third round or whatever. Like that's when we try to get him cheap next year. But it's been a very disappointing year for him. Colin Gillespie, yes, great. Without Devin Booker, 8 assists, that's great. Mark Williams, Royce O'Neal, Jalen Green. Also, Dylan Brooks did not play. That's good. 4 threes. He should help taking a little bit pressure off Devin Booker defensively. But not a great start for him. He finally started playing though, so that's good. Jordan Goodwin played 27. Depending on how many games Booker is going to be out, maybe Jordan Goodwin could be a great stream. For the Spurs, Victor, 1 steal, 5 blocks in just 25 minutes. I'm good with that. Stephon Castle played well, and of course Wemby is their best player, but they do have a lot of super good young talent. De'Aaron Fox is still good, right? 8 assists, 15 points, doing what he needs to do. And Stephon Castle is also a talent. If he can shoot a little bit, he's got size and everything. So same thing with Dylan Harper. They got a lot of good young players. And this core, could be really good. They could compete with OKC every year for the, 5 to 10 years. Moving on to the next one. Speaking of, the Warriors are just really cooked. They lost at home 110. And Celtics, they made some lineup changes. They have Peyton Pritchard came off the bench, but honestly, maybe it's good for him. He's been playing very well off the bench. 6 threes, 26 points. And they also have Vucevic came off the bench, but he always end up playing more time than Quetta. So still obviously a must roster, but it's obviously not a great look. He's losing value. He's not starting playing 30 minutes every night. Derrick White had a good game with 4 blocks and a steal, 8 assists. This is why, Derrick White, guys like this, didn't really shoot the ball well, but doesn't matter. 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal and 4 blocks. Jaylen Brown had 15 rebounds and 13 assists. What a game from him. But, the Warriors, I don't know what kind of fight they put up, but, yeah, it wasn't particularly close this game, even though they only lost by 10 or 12, because they don't have Steph Curry. They don't have Steph Curry. Who are they relying on? They're relying on Guia Santos. He has the most usage. They're relying on DeAnthony Melton. Come on, guys. These guys offensively, they're not. They did have Porzingis playing 17 minutes. So Porzingis could play well next to Steph Curry. I think he's also a stretch 5. So let's see how Porzingis plays. Can he stay healthy? If he plays 25 to 30 minutes a night, I think in category leagues, easily a top 30, 40 player just because of the blocks, the score, and the rebounds. Draymond goes 0 for 7. My goodness, minus 28. At some point, Draymond could still be very, very valuable if they make a deep playoff run, but it just, yeah. If he's not hitting shots, offensively, he's just a liability. Of course, he can set up Steph, right, because they play so well. They play so long, but yeah. The next one, well, the Kings, they're for sure tanking. News came out that, Sabonis is out for season. That's what we're being afraid of is, yeah, they just shut him down. So Cardwell now becomes must roster. Oh, he also got hurt, so never mind. But pay attention to Cardwell. When he comes back, which could be super deep in the playoffs, I think top 30, 40 player, because, yeah, he's going to get a lot of playing time. For the Orlando Magic, great win for them. I think Anthony Black still playing so well, 3 steals and 20 points. Banchero finally had a good game. I know we're past the deadline, but yeah, try to sell him if you still could. Jalen Suggs played 20 minutes, and Desmond Bain on this team, he has very limited upside. Basically they played out the whole season without Banchero. Like either with one of the missing, either Banchero was out for the first half of the season, or Fred Wagner was out. And Desmond Bain is still not putting up great numbers. So, yeah. Not a guy we want to trust next season, especially if he stay on this team. Now, for the Kings, I would pick up Raynard. He's going to play a lot of minutes, a lot of usage too. Zach LaVine is also out for season. Russell Westbrook only plays 16. DeMar DeRozan played 19. So we got to make some decisions. I would be perfectly fine dropping drop Russell Westbrook. But of course, like depending on the schedule, playoff. Let's say Russell Westbrook had 3 games in 4 nights. Yeah, we just ride with him and then drop him if they don't have any games. But these guys are definitely now in the droppable territory. Both guys, they're not getting minutes. Keegan Murray still getting great minutes, so that's good. And maybe pressures Achua we could stream. 4 steals and 2 blocks, 10 rebounds is no joke. The last game of the night, we have Denver Nuggets. Well, you know, Clippers still winning games, which is very impressive behind Kawhi. Jokic struggled. He struggled here, which you don't see very often. 6 turnovers, 5 personal fouls, 9 for 22. You don't see Jokic struggle this hard. So kudos to Clippers. They did a great job defensively on him. Jamal Murray also did not play well, but still had 20 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 steals and block. Christian Braun now, is he a must roster? I would stream him, right? Just stream him for some efficiency points and rebound. He doesn't get a lot of defensive stats either. So honestly, I don't think, like, if you need a particular category, he doesn't offer you that. So I take that back. Like, unless there's a back-to-back, I wouldn't touch him. Cameron Johnson, sure, I think he needs to be rostered because the 3 and efficiency. Of course, if it doesn't fit your team in the playoffs, then be ready to drop all these guys. For Clippers, Kawhi, not the best game, 23 points and not much else. John Collins popped off. He's a must roster. They're playing Brook Lopez a lot of minutes. He's a must roster. Derrick Jones Jr. could definitely be streamed, and Chris Down now that Carden is gone, right? He's going to be useful. And how about Benedict Mathurin? Now he's on the Clippers. Let's roster him. He could have a big finish. They really need that another guy. 38 points is crazy. 3 steals, 2 threes. Yeah, he's just in a much better situation coming from Pacers. And the Clippers going to compete, so they're going to play him. That's it, guys. See you tomorrow.